Senate race in Ohio this year is one of the most interesting and close races of all the elections that are going on. Republican candidate J.D. Vance is battling with Democratic Congressman Tim Ryan for the seat that is now open due to the retirement of moderate Republican Senator Rob Portman. The race has been pretty close all throughout time. At one point, Tim Ryan was up by about four to 5 points in around mid-July or the September area. But now, after the Republican surge that has been happening nationwide, Vance has jumped out to about a 3 point lead here, which is still within the margin of error for all the polls. But it's certainly a change even since Ryan was up as shortly as just at the start of at the start of last month. So it's quite an interesting race. Ryan is a unique candidate in all of the Democratic Party really because he's very willing to break and with Joe Biden on many of the issues and criticize Biden's performance on the economy and foreign policy and other issues. He's certainly trying to build a centrist campaign in order to appeal to the more moderate voters of the state that might not be approving of Biden's current performance and still having enough positions that will keep his left wing followers happy. Although some are predicting that progressive turnout for Tim Ryan might not be as high as it should be for other Democratic candidates, just because of his extreme push to be a centrist. Vance made it out of a very crowded Republican primary field because he earned the endorsement of Trump. At one point, Vance was very much anti-Trump, saying that he was going to be awful for the country. But now, in the current Republican Party, you kind of have to support Trump. So Vance has gone in line with that and stands with Trump on most issues like the economy and the border and abortion. And the more recent polls have J.D. Vance up by five. In fact, the past three polls have Vance up by five. Certainly a change from the ones conducted just a week beforehand, where Ryan was up from anywhere to 2 to 5. So Ohio is usually a state that leans red. Republican Governor Mike DeWine, but they do have Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown, who is not up for re-election this year. So it's a purplish state but it mainly leans red and has done so for the past two presidential elections. So Ryan is certainly facing an uphill battle, but as an experienced congressman in Congress for I think over a decade now, he knows the state pretty well, and he's had good performances in the debates so far. With his key line, "We need an ass kicker, not an ass kisser," which refers to J.D. Vance sucking up to Trump after Trump endorsed him after Vance was previously critical of Trump. So certainly an interesting race. Hopefully, it doesn't get too out of hand and remains pretty close. And it's certainly a race that everyone in Ohio must vote in because it could decide who controls the Senate. Like we've been saying for all these other races, this is another battleground state in a 50-50 Senate. This could end up deciding who ends up in control of the Senate. So certainly a critical race that everyone must vote in.